go again. Pretend that didn't happen. Right. Okay, so take two. Thank you for coming in. Sorry, I'm just going to turn this down. You warm enough?
Yeah, quite cosy.
Thank you for coming in to chat to us. We'll get on to sort of this, like I say, is a bit of a different one for us. Normally it's business owners and directors, but slightly different. But it's positive and I'm here for it. So give a little bit of introduction to yourself and then we'll kind of get on to why you're here.
Sure. So my name's Fabio. A lot of people call me Fabs. And I'm one of the guys that helped to create and grow Plod Squad, a local community run club. And I would say that my personality is pretty much running. So that's why I love it so much.
Yeah. I think what happens when you start a hobby is that becomes your whole personality, doesn't it? Like I started cycling for a while and that was just me. That was all it was. It was just talking about, I don't know, what sort of new gear I want to get or whatever. It's and then you go for a slippery slope of it being very expensive for most of them.
Yeah, it's such a rabbit hole. You kind of just start, and I've not been running for a long time personally, so another reason why I love it so much, because running for me and for many others has been a great mechanism to become physically healthier and certainly mentally healthier. But when you start out, it's relatively quite simple. It's just about the idea of movement, and then gradually it's bit by bit you think, how far can I push myself? And then it's, these trainers will make me go a little bit fast, or these tights will make me do this particular distance and this particular time, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, that's a few £100 just gone.
Yeah,
so
easily.
it can be expensive, but it's worth it, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm very much the same. I think the gear will make a difference, and then it doesn't. But that's all in my head.
No, it definitely does. I think it's the same way. Like, you guys have got some really, really cool kit here, and I think the quality of the picture, sound, and stuff like that. Equally, with running as well, it's sometimes those trainers can make a difference, and I'll always try to make reference to, say, on a car, you want to put good tyres on a car to look after the vehicle. Similar, you want to look after your legs and the mechanics of your body, so having good trainers will do the same. So sometimes it is worth investing that little bit. There is a balance, but it's worth it.
The difference is you go out and do the runs. I buy the trainers and don't do the run. That's why it doesn't help me.
I think my wife thinks I do the same, but I am out a lot and I am running with the guys, so I do try and get use out of them.
Yeah, fair enough. So how did your journey start with running?
So we'd have to go back to late 2019, and this isn't necessarily when I started running, but a bit of self-reflection. Having been away on holiday, I realised that I wasn't necessarily quite happy with myself, and I realised that I'd kind of lost myself a little bit physically, I'd say. And a very close friend of mine gave my wife and I the opportunity to do some personal training sessions as we approached into the new year of 2020, and we built some really, really good habits, lost a little bit of weight, got quite fit in a short space of time, and then that's when lockdown happened.
Right.
And I think the combination of having initially built those good habits and then being forced to stay inside with the only release being you can go outside for 30 minutes a day, I think that vacuum created a bit of an obsession around just becoming fit and healthy.
Yeah.
And then that was something I obsessed over for the next couple of years, not running, just, weight training and stuff like that. It was then the summer 2022, a friend of mine, Alex, who also helps to look after Plod Squad as well, one of my closest friends, his mum works closely with Bedford Hospital Charity.
Right.
And randomly, something popped up in the group chat and said, we've got 2 spaces going for London Marathon if anyone wants them. And I don't know why, but I just replied immediately within like a split second of it, saying, yeah, I'll have one. And then fast forward a couple of days, it's all been confirmed and I've got this space in the marathon.
Did you regret that message at any point?
I think in the moment I definitely did, but in hindsight, I would make the same decision a million times over, because it's probably one of the best things I ever did. And I think then, because I have an obsessive personality and I don't like to do things in half, I realised marathon is no small task.
No, it's no joke.
It's serious, and I really want to do it well. So from the June time, that was when I really started running properly. And then it was in the October, and that was the last time they did London Marathon in the October. That's kind of how I stumbled my way into the realms of running. And that's kind of how it all came about.
How do you... So lockdown was a weird space for... There's a lot of, obviously, naturally, a lot of negative, a lot of mindset stuff. I struggled with my mental health in lockdown. I think a lot of people did. But it was also like this incubator of ideas and thoughts and positivity and things like that. So I think that a lot of people that we've spoken to so far, the idea of a business has come from lockdown because you had some time to sit and reflect and be quiet and be still, which we just don't do anymore, do we?
Yeah.
How do you think from that journey of making that decision to look after your mental health and your physical health, how did that, what change did you see in yourself because of that?
So I think that I became a bit happier and I think I was a better person to be around because I have to wrestle with this idea a lot because I know that lockdown was really difficult for millions of people.
Yeah.
Lockdown for me was one of the best moments for me because it helped me transform myself into someone that I think is a better version. I think that I became a better, partner to my wife at the time. I just wasn't necessarily in the right headspace. So going through that period, it gave me the opportunity to transform myself into someone that I was much happier with.
Right.
I felt healthier. I was moving better. I was outside more as well, given that we weren't necessarily meant to be outside. But because that was all I could do, I was being out in the sun. If you remember what the weather was like, it was incredible. So
It was.
I think it changed me into being a happier person, but it also taught me, I guess, gratitude of being able to move free of restriction, free of pain. You know, I was able-bodied and a lot of people sometimes don't even have that as a luxury. So I think I was quite grateful of that. And over that time, I think it also helped to teach me an element of discipline and being able to deal with discomfort, which later on then helped me to elevate myself to do things that maybe I didn't necessarily think I could, 4 or 5 years ago. So I think it overall made me a better person over that period.
I think that when you talk about running or whatever it might be running, might be sort of weightlifting, it might be cycling, whatever it may be, like all jokes aside, it does become a lot of people's personality sometimes, but it does teach you so much. I listen to a lot of podcasts and Joe Rogan's a really good example of it. And there was one who was talking about once where people are so comfortable never getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like you're never going through the pain, never doing things that you don't want to do. And I think whatever it is you did, I mean, I did a bike ride a couple of years ago where it was something I never thought I'd want to do. But there was days where I didn't want to train, didn't want to get on the bike for 3, 4, 5 hours. But you do it. And then when you've done it, you take this reflection of yourself that you think, you're so proud of yourself. Do you know that moment of, I didn't want to do it, I've done it. And that moment after a workout or a run or a cycle is this feeling of that you can't really describe.
Yeah. I think it's almost like an element of feeling proud.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have those mental battles to begin with where you're almost like having to negotiate with yourself. Like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do this. No, I don't want to. It's wet outside or it's cold or whatever it might be. And then the fact that you overcome those battles and you do it, it is definitely something to be proud of. And I think people shouldn't have any shame in saying that. It doesn't matter how big or small it is because it's all relative to the individual.
It could be just a 1 10-minute workout.
It might just be walking the dog.
Yeah.
I don't want to, it's raining, but then doing it and you feel better for it.
I think as well is that so I've sort of looked at your Instagram and looked at sort of some of the numbers that you've done on your runs in terms of half marathon speed and marathon speed, right? And I think that there's this feeling of, well, he's just a runner. But then I also think that so say for example, I watched an interview with Novak Djokovic, right?
Yeah.
And in the interview they said it was something along the lines of you must just not have these many negative thoughts on training or doing anything. He was like, no. I have those thoughts. I just never let them win.
Yeah.
So it's a case of there's probably times where you didn't want to go for a run. Probably times that whether you're a marathon runner or you're just doing couch to 5K, there's times where you don't want to run. It's getting past those. Everyone gets them.
Yeah.
It's just getting past them, right?
I think also there's a question of how much you want it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you willing to do to get whatever that end goal is? And that's relative across all disciplines of sport. And, you know, I'm not like qualified in this space or anything like that. I just say it from my own experiences, and it's how much do you really want it, and what are you willing to do, and what sort of position you're willing to put yourself in to try and achieve that. And sometimes it might be a case of if you're not going to do what feels uncomfortable, you're really going to struggle to grow. You know that saying about nothing grows in the comfort zone. Well, it's the same thing. If you're not willing to stretch your limits, you're not really going to go much further than where you are now.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much do you really, really want it? And going back to my point before, I'm just quite an obsessive person. I really, really want it. So if there is that doubt where I'm thinking, I'm not feeling it, or, you know, I'm not where I should be, right, that's a reason to get out there and
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of correlation just in life. If you want it, if you want something enough, you'll find a way to make that happen, whether it's in personal life, in business, in sport, in your own achievements. If you want it enough, you'll find the ways of working around what you need to work around to make it and get there.
Well, I've watched some of the episodes that you guys have done before and the people you've had on your podcast, and anybody that has been successful in any respect that's been on here in particular, they've had to go through some form of struggle and sacrifice in order to get to where they want to. There's no easy way to the top. And for the record, I'm not suggesting I'm anywhere near the top, not at all. I think the point making is that if you want to work your way upwards, you're going to have to
be uncomfortable.
Exactly. You're going to have to do difficult things to then get to where you want to. And like I say, the people that have been on here have had to have grown through their own challenges to be successful and succeed in what they're doing.
I also think there's quite often a correlation between success and your physical, your output physically. So if you look at a lot of people, there's there's good management stuff, but it's not a coincidence that you get top athletes become top business owners. Like, look at people like Michael Jordan, or like the Djokovic's or whoever, or Federer. I don't think there's a big gap between they don't stop, they keep going, they want perfection, they got this clear drive. Yes, they're going to have agents, they're going to have opportunities to come their way, but there's also, look at what Michael Jordan's done outside of basketball. That's not just he's a good sports person and he just gets business. There's that drive, there's the relentless push for perfection. Yeah. It can't be a coincidence.
He's willing to do what other people don't necessarily want to do because it's difficult or it's uncomfortable. Yeah, I think, and maybe that's because of their time in sport. That there's not a saying, but people say being uncomfortably comfortable. Yeah, or just being comfortable in a state of exactly that. Yeah. And perhaps because they've spent so much of their career putting themselves in situations where it has been uncomfortable and difficult, that can translate into other areas, whether that be business or family potentially, I don't know. Yeah. But I would imagine that's definitely transferable and why they've probably gone to be successful. Yeah,
it's a different skill set and to become an elite or very, very good at what you do, there's sacrifice and there's commitment and there's uncomfortability and there's all sorts of stuff that comes into that isn't just, you go to training, turn up, and you're just naturally gifted.
Yeah. There's no luck here. It's all hard work, and I think sometimes when you make your own luck, and if someone has had a bit of luck on the way, it's probably because they've had to bust their balls to try and get there in the first place.
Completely agree. Yeah, I think I've touched on this before in a previous podcast that sometimes people see that bit of luck or that moment or that opportunity, and they're like, but they only made it because of that. But actually, you've got to put all the yards in first to get yourself into a position where you were noticed or you had the infrastructure around you to maximise on it or whatever it may be. So, they do get luck in life. But like I say, you've got to make that luck. You've got to make that opportunity.
Exactly.
Or sometimes you've got to put yourself in a position like you did where, okay, you weren't ready to run a marathon. I'm going to put myself in a position where I have to be ready to do that. You probably saw it as luck that opportunity popped up in hindsight.
Well, yeah. I think the opportunity popping up, you could argue, is luck. I think it's then what you do with that opportunity.
It's flipped it over, isn't
exactly.
it?
That's not luck. And I think, anyone could have potentially had the opportunity to try and run that particular race, but then what would that person have done if they were handed that opportunity to go and do it? And then what comes from that isn't luck. It's down to the work that you then put in. You could have
replied to a message and not done it. You could have replied to a message and just walked around it. There's lots of other avenues that could have come off that reply to that message. I completely get what your mindset is, because I'm exactly the same. I've got this. When I do something, it's laser focus, tunnel vision. Probably sometimes is a weakness of mine, that it's pure tunnel vision of the thing that I want to do and what I want to achieve. And I don't do it by half. Which is great sometimes, and it's a really good kind of superpower, but sometimes it's not so good if it's a bad idea.
I think you should ask my wife and see what she thinks. I think my running personality perhaps at times can be a bit too much, but I just like it. And also I think, and again, whatever that is that you're doing, if you commit to it and you obsess over it, the progression that you often make in it is something that gives you that buzz. So when you see the progression and the reward for your hard work, I think it only makes you obsessed with it more, because you think, I really like how this feels. I'm going to keep doing this.
When you get that personal best on whatever distance, you're like, okay, well, can I get another X off it? Can I get another X off it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely addictive. So from there, so you've gone through your journey. What made you think that there was something more that you wanted to get from that journey, instead of just keeping it sort of in your own head? Big question.
I think that I'm trying to think of the best way to answer this.
Was there a moment, or was it a process, or was there a moment where you're like, I could do this, or we could do this, or was it a longer?
Well, specifically the run group?
Yeah.
Do you know what? In all honesty, it was purely by luck. I know I've been saying about luck, but it was something that started out as, if I'm honest, a bit of a joke. There wasn't real much intention behind it. The story really started when a few of us were due to run Hackney Half Marathon. So, okay, we say luck, but again, there's the intent behind it, that originally we signed up to a particular race. There was a group chat that was formed for it. And then at some particular point, we were at a Starbucks not far away from here at Elms Industrial Estate. And there was a few people that came from the gym, and there was a few of us that had been for a run. And no exaggeration, maybe there was like 15 to 20 people inside this cafe, and everyone was like having coffee, chatting and whatnot, and we just thought, this seems like a bit of fun. And it's all different people from all different walks of life, and as a bit of a joke, we thought, well, maybe we could perhaps make it a regular thing. So the best way to try and get any form of traction is just put a message out on social media to say, this is what we might be doing. So a few of us on Instagram put a message out to say, we're making this run group, it's going to be here at this time, join this WhatsApp group if you fancy it. And then like overnight we had like 100 people join the chat. We were like, okay, hold on, this is, from what was a joke, this has got a bit of attention. So anyway, bit by bit, you then got 150, almost 200 people that have joined, and we thought, we're going to have to try and put something on for people to come along to, otherwise it looks a little bit silly, right? So fast forward, and we've decided, right, we're going to do our first run, and I think I should know this, but it's around end of Jan, start of February that we put our first run on.
What year was that? Last year?
Last year. So it will be February 2026, will be 2 years that we've been doing it. We put like this poll out to say, is anyone going to come along? We're doing it at Bedford Park.
Because there's always great intentions to join a WhatsApp, it's whether they're going to actually turn up.
Exactly. So we, I suppose you don't get your hopes up too much. You have all the best intentions in the world, and you love the idea of people coming along and enjoying themselves. So anyway, put the poll in, a few people voted. Couldn't tell you how many. And then that Sunday morning, we turn up at the park and like just over 30 people turn up. And we thought, wow, bloody hell, this is actually perhaps a bit of a thing.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a one-off because it's the first one, the novelty. It's maybe something a little bit different in Bedford.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we get on. And then fast forward another week, again, another 30 plus people. Again, a week goes by, almost 40 people.
Wow.
And you think, hold on a second, this is actually a thing that people are turning up to. And what was nice is that you'd start seeing similar faces that came week after week, along with new faces of all different backgrounds, younger people, more seasoned runners, all different backgrounds, some that came to walk, others that would run and walk, others that would just run. And we realised, actually, this is something pretty good. We need to stick at this.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's initially how it all formed. It was purely just for a bit of a laugh. And then when we realised that people were turning up, that's when we decided we have to take this a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Because you could argue people were relying on it.
Yeah.
And I'll come on to the sort of like the mental side of things for this in a moment. But we also learnt it later on that year as well, because there was one day where the weather was terrible, like awful. And we made the decision, we're not running. It's off today because the weather's terrible. And we actually had people like kick up a stink about it and saying, why have you cancelled? Like I was still going to come down, I was still going to run. And I think at that point we always knew it was something which was quite serious. But then I think that was a massive eye-opener to realise how important this group and community had become for so many people, that even when the weather was terrible, they were so disappointed that we weren't out there.
Now you've got a feeling of responsibility to keep going with it.
Absolutely. And I think the group has become something so special. It's, we don't say it lightly, but we genuinely think it's become one of the most positive things that are happening in Bedford at the moment, just because you got people from all different backgrounds, all different abilities, people that are once strangers that have now formed friendships. And you've got people that, the amount of times that we've had people that have come down and joined us for a run, and you ask the question, how did you find out about us? Oh, I've moved from so-and-so and I've moved to Bedford, so I was just looking and I found you guys. And it's just somebody that's completely isolated.
Just wants to make some friends, be around people.
Exactly. And we've been able to facilitate that for someone, and it's such a good feeling knowing that what we are doing, bearing in mind that we don't make any money from it, we do it all in our spare time. It's so rewarding knowing that what we do actually helps people. And we absolutely try our best to help everyone. Like we really, really do. We want it to try and be for everyone. And unfortunately, there's always the odd occasion where people sometimes don't necessarily come back, and it is a shame, and sometimes it is sad to see that, but we do try our best to make it so that everyone can come and join us.
You can't be all things to all people. That's just inevitable. But if you can do what you can to be what you can to as many, that's all you can do, isn't it?
Absolutely. And on the mental side of things, there's a lot of people that have had their own battles. They're all different. And there are people in the group that perhaps have once struggled with addiction, and there are people that have just suffered with, mental health generally, whether that's something off the back of lockdown or other reasons. Plod Squad's provided a element of structure. It gives something for people to rely upon. Life is chaos.
Yeah.
Everybody's, and we've spoken about, like, we've got children, we've spoken about that, and it's, that in itself is just carnage.
Yeah.
And I think what Plod Squad does, it provides people an element of stability, consistency and routine amongst all the day-to-day chaos of life. So, and again, going back to what I said before about the whole weather thing, when you cancel it, you're really like letting people down.
You're taking away that part of their life that they're probably looking forward to or needed.
Exactly that. And I'm not trying to make it this thing that it's not. Generally, people will look forward to it on a weekend, because if it's someone which is on their own, they might not necessarily have interacted with people throughout the week. This is their chance to get outside, be active.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing for people.
I think that there's a whole kind of need at the moment. Ever since lockdown, there's people that have worked from home. The interaction they have is on Teams. There's no real, especially if you're single, or even if you're not. If you've got a couple that both work from home, that's might be the only interaction you get all week. People are craving that. People are craving the. And you could run next to someone, not even have a conversation. It's being out. It's being around people. It's being that community.
Present. There's in the group. What I absolutely love is that. First of all, everyone's different. So you've got some people that just come down for a coffee. So a good example of that would be Charlie, who helped us out the group as well. His grandparents come down for a coffee every single week without fail. And I'm sure they don't mind me saying it, but again, I would imagine that's something that they look forward to as well, where there's loads of new faces. There's that hustle and bustle about the place, and
it's just nice to be around busy people and like energy and positivity.
Spot on, exactly that. And I think that they love that. They come down, they're always the happiest people there, and all they do is they come down for a coffee. And then they just, interact with people of all different ages and backgrounds. We also then have people that have since gone into relationships with each other, which is also quite nice because, again, would those people have come across each other or, cross paths at any particular point? Possibly not. So the fact that there are two people that have found each other over a common interest, and it's not like dating apps or whatever the stuff is that people use nowadays.
It's so rare, isn't it now? It's so rare that people organically just meet in a situation or a place.
Yeah, and it's so much more natural. And it's really,
and you've
really
seen
nice
them when they're sweaty and hot. So that's one good thing.
Yeah, you can't get worse than that.
Exactly.
So that's always been nice to see. And then the thing that I really, really like the most is that there's been people that have come down and, as I said, they've just shown up every single week without fail. Their face has become a constant for the group. And gradually, there's 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 people that every week without fail are there. They've formed their own friendship groups. So there's been times I'm just driving around town, whether it's I'm taking my son to nursery or I'm out for lunch somewhere, and all of a sudden you notice, those two, they both come to Plod on a weekend. They've just met up and they're going out for a run on their own.
Yeah, nice.
And going back to that point of you helping facilitate relationships and friendships that maybe once never would have happened.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I absolutely love the most about it, is it's that community sense where people are forming relationships and friendships so that a lot stems from it, basically.
It's a lot more than running, isn't it? It's a lot more of a...
Absolutely.
It's a lot more of a thing than just running. What do you think is that there's other running groups in and around Bedford? What do you feel makes it different?
What makes it different? So I think that what Plod Squad does well is it, at least from the way that I see it, is that it breaks down the barrier between people that potentially want to start running but maybe haven't quite got the confidence to take those first few steps. It's a space where, like I say, we have people that come down just for a coffee. We've got people that come down and do part walk, part run. And I do think we need to do more to shout about that anyway, because I don't think that we publicise it in the way that we should, but there are people of all abilities that come down. I think Plod Squad is a fantastic space to come and just test yourself and see what you're capable of doing. And I have the perfect example of this, and I speak about it a lot of the time when you get asked about, is it quick or is it racing? Or, people are just intrigued about what we do. And it's not that at all. There's no racing involved whatsoever. Charlie's mum, she, I would guess, hadn't run for the best part of 30 plus years. And over the space of between 8 to 10 weeks, having went from never run to doing a 5K. And now every week without fail, turns up, runs 5K, like it's almost like it's easy.
Yeah.
I am confident in that would never have happened if we didn't exist. And that's something that we should do more to highlight and praise, because that's the perfect example to show people that's why what we do is different. We don't ask people to speed up. We don't ask people to slow down. Come along and just do what you're comfortable to do. Test yourself in an environment where there is no judgment. We genuinely don't care. We just want you to come down and just feel like you can try out without any judgment. And that's it. And then people gradually, they'll just push themselves a little bit further. There'll be people, the more people that we have come down, there are groups that will form within.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the process is, because I've done a couple of run clubs in Bedford before where you kind of get worked out into groups of distance, speed, ability, and bits like that. How does it work?
It is literally as simple as we all meet up at 9:30. We do a bit of a warm up, nothing too serious. 9:45 we start. It is just 5k, and we do it around the embankment. And the beauty of the embankment is that if you decide, actually, I don't want to do the full 5k, there are several bridges that you can actually cross and come back sooner. So you don't have to do the 2 laps. You can do 1, you can do half. It's up to you. The idea is that that's the route. If you want to do 5k, you're absolutely welcome to do so. If you don't, we literally meet where we started.
Right.
So you know where we're going to be. Come back here after, have a coffee, have something to eat. Just come and chat to people after. Just do what you're comfortable with.
Right.
And if you're willing to give it a try and come down, you'll realise that there's so many people in a similar situation to yourself where maybe they haven't been running before, or maybe they haven't quite reached the heights of a 5k. And over time, like Charlie's mum, you build it up and you'll get there, if that's what your goal is, of course.
I think 5k is such a good distance because it's not crazy.
Yep.
It's not too far out of reach. I think everyone can run a 5k within reason, right? Unless there's a sort of a medical or physical reason.
Sure.
Most people, whether they're couch to 5k, haven't run for a long time. That's not a distance where they're going. Sometimes it also doesn't. I've been to groups before where some run 5, some run 10, and you think they do it in the same time. You think they've run 10k and I've done 5. So it kind of puts you off it. You feel like, well, I'm never going to be. They've done twice the distance in the time that I've done mine. So it's kind of, that seems like a way of just incorporating everybody, start and finish at the same place. You don't feel like you're disconnected from the people that are potentially fitter or faster than you. And it's just like it's that way of working seems a lot more inclusive to me.
We have people across the whole spectrum of running. We've got people that will run it in, say, 40 minutes or even longer. We have people that can run it under 17 minutes. You've got some really, really fast people and got people that perhaps just want to enjoy themselves and have something which is a bit more sociable. And it really doesn't matter because, first of all, we don't care that someone can run it under 17, 16 minutes, as much as we don't care that someone might take an hour to do it. Genuinely, it doesn't matter.
How fast do you run it?
I can do about 17:08 currently is my best.
Jesus.
Yeah. I need to, I've not done 5k distance. I've not trained for a 5k distance ever. So I need to...
Even still, that's quick.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but it's
I'm intrigued now.
It's all relative, right? So I think it's quick in the sense that I've not been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
But I've got friends that can go under 14 minutes.
That is nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting because I probably maybe would be able to run 1k at that pace.
Yeah.
And they'd be able to do that for like 5-10.
It is crazy. Yeah. There's different levels. I mean, when I got through a bit of a phase in lockdown, I tried to do my quickest 5k, and I think I'd got like 22.5, 23 minutes. And
which is really good.
I was quite happy with that. And then you see some people, like, I wonder what that's like compared to like other people that run. They're doing like 14, 15 minutes and like whatever.
Yeah. I think this is one of the hurdles that I think as a group we've also had to try and tackle because we want to make it for everyone. And the difficulty is that because we want to make it for everyone, if there is someone that has been doing it for a long time and is really quick, we also don't want to isolate them as well. Sure. And sometimes the challenge is that because we really want to make it for everyone and anyone, we don't want to put off people that perhaps they might just see that there's one person that can run ridiculously quick because for the majority of us, we're just down there for just the social aspect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what they do in their spare time on a Tuesday down at the track or something like that. When you're with us on a Sunday or even a Wednesday, because we do midweek as well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really, really doesn't matter. And I think that's sometimes the bit that bugs me is there is that sometimes a stigma with running generally.
Yeah.
And it's, can we try to eradicate that where it doesn't matter how fast you run?
Yeah.
Not at all. Because more often than not, it's relative to the individual. Because, yeah, they might be able to run whatever particular time, but they might have been doing it for 10, 15 years.
And that's the thing. That's what it's really good to get across in this conversation, because naturally you see a running club, you see a picture on your Instagram, and there's some people that have got all the gear on and can clearly run, can clearly got the stuff. But it's kind of getting that across that there's some people that just, there might be some people that can really run, but they could do it in half an hour because they're chatting to their mate as they do it. Like, it's finding that and making that clear. Yeah,
I think also as well, just because someone looks a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that they're of a certain personality or have got a certain trait, because I think also as well, sometimes people dress a certain way because it makes them feel good, right?
Yeah.
You know, like we spoke about having expensive trainers earlier, and I think sometimes, you might not necessarily be the fastest person on the planet, but if you've got a nice pair of trainers, a nice running top, a nice running jacket,
and you feel good about yourself doing it,
you feel good irrespective of the time. And I think that's also another thing as well, is I'd always encourage people, don't get caught up on what it looks like, because that might just be a false reflection.
Yeah.
They might
Which most social media is, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me anyway, my social media isn't really about me. It's just like, more often than not, it's about just running and exercise. Me and my life is slightly different. More often than not, I don't post often about my son and my family. I keep it separate, but that's, you just got to take what you see online with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, for sure.
I think going back to the run stuff, it's don't worry about what other people are doing or what it looks like other people are doing. Just focus on you, because that's all that really matters. It's just you versus yourself. And if someone's running a certain time and that perhaps is off-putting, just think, well, how long have they been at it to do that? And if you've only just started your journey, you just starting, whether that's doing 500 metres, a kilometre, 5K, arguably that's far more impressive than what
100%.
someone's achieved after 10, 15 years of work, because what you're doing right there is arguably one of the most difficult things to do, and that's just starting. So I think that's the uniqueness about Plod Squad, is just trying to break down the barriers between people that want to start and maybe just haven't quite found that space to.
Yeah. There's always this saying that kind of, it always sits in my head about this. It's like, comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
You could go and have a really good 5K for you, and that's 35 minutes.
Yep.
And you could then compare to someone that's your age. And again, you always see these snapshots, don't you? Like you say, you see they're your age, you went to school with them, and they just did it in 20 minutes. Yeah, but they could be running for 10 years, and that's their passion, that's their joy, and that's what they do the whole time. And all of a sudden, your personal best is just gone straight out the window and doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, because you forget it's about you, not about them.
And it's about your health. And it's the same with anything, right? It's work, it's your physical health, your mental health. There's no point comparing, because you always never see the full picture. And it's your journey, it's your life, it's your process of doing what you feel like you need to do. And if anyone's moving more, that's only a positive, isn't it?
Yeah. I have that. I sometimes have that feeling with the run group, because I follow so many different running pages on Instagram, and I'm constantly looking at run clubs, and more often than not, they're in cities like London or elsewhere, like Manchester have got quite a few big ones. And I always look at it and think, like, Christ, they've got like 200, 300 people. And we might only have 50, 60, 70 people on a weekend. But that is just the wrong way to look at it, because us as a small town, having that many people turn up, that is absolutely amazing. You think the number of people that we're just at least trying to help every single week, giving them a space to come along and run, or just have that half an hour of freedom or whatever it might be. Sometimes I forget that because I'm
That's
caught up
70
in looking
people,
at,
that have gone out of their way on
Yeah.
a Sunday morning to have their kids looked after or get up early or do everything they need to do to get there on that day for that time. That's a lot of people.
It's actually amazing to think how small the town is, and yet we have that. Because London, as an example, has got millions of people as an audience, whereas we don't.
Yeah.
We've just got, the best part, maybe 100,000 people that we could, tap into and try and come and run with us. And I think sometimes I am guilty of looking through the window and just seeing, there's another run group and they've got 200 people turn up. Actually, what we are doing is mightily impressive.
Yeah.
And it's helping a lot of people at home. And I think that's something which is really important to highlight and just try to share that with people that just want to know more about what we do.
Mental health is a big aspect of running for me. So I think a lot of people are better when they're moving, better when they're working out, better when they're running, whatever it is, whatever's their outlet, when they're doing it, their mental health is better. For me, running and cycling are the two things that when I'm stressed, when I'm feeling down, when I'm in whatever mindset I'm in, I'm a massive overthinker, and then that overthinking turns into all sorts of crazy, sometimes dark, sometimes depressing thoughts. But running, cycling, that constant, that repetitive movement where you can't really do much else. You can't really... I think people don't spend much time doing nothing anymore. So what I mean by that is when you're running, you can't be on your phone. You can't be... You might be able to listen to a podcast, might be able to listen to music. That's about it. So I think mental health-wise, it's such a good process. And 5K, whether you're doing that in 25 minutes, 40 minutes, or whatever, that's a good amount of time to just switch off, just exist, process, think, and get your body moving. That I personally can't talk enough about how that helps my mental health.
Yeah. It's... And going back to the point you said before about it's more than just running. It's absolutely more than just running. I think movement in general is such a fantastic way to try and help keep mental health in check. And funnily enough, I'm not actually the best person to speak about this because there's a guy called Alex Goulding that helps to run the group as well. And he's like, if we're talking about ambassadors for mental health and change in that instance, he's absolutely up there, and he will constantly talk about hormones like endorphins, serotonin, things like that. And these are feel-good hormones that when you're exercising, you feel them. And that's a huge shift in the body to take you from one state to another. And that transition through those hormones make you feel so much better. And it's just by moving. Yeah. Whether that's a bike ride, a swim, a walk, a run. That's absolutely huge. And plays a key role in mental health generally. And again, I would add, I'm not, I can't speak about this from like a qualified perspective, just more from my own experience. But again, running or any form of movement, if you can have a structure, it gives you that consistent, that thing to rely upon. Running or the gym doesn't judge you. It's there all the time, and you can always go to that if maybe you've had a tough day, you need to go and sweat it out. Maybe you don't want to just go for a nice, easy one. Maybe you really want to push yourself because you just want to try and like let something out. When you're done, again, that element of feeling proud for doing it, it's a good feeling, and it helps to combat those, say, more negative emotions that you might have built up. Yeah. And I'd also add as well that running can also be a really good mechanism to meet other people. Yeah. And you'll be amazed at how many people have similar struggles to what you do. And I think even just through the process of running, we've spoken about friendships that have been formed, having people to talk to, having people to relate to. I think also helps massively when it comes to mental health, just being able to sometimes offload or just air what you're thinking, and having a sounding board there. For sure. Is fantastic.
I think there's a couple of things. Firstly, I think we've spoken a lot about running, But I think you've also touched on the fact that some people come and walk. I think that walking is, whether you're walking your dog, whether you're going for a walk for a 5K or a 1K or whatever it may be, walking is just as sort of therapeutic and if you can't run and you want to walk, like, I think walking is just like, when I walk my dog and I go for it, I get ideas, I feel better, there's the fact of you sort of said before, you touched on the lockdown, there's so much science behind getting up, getting your body moving and getting in the sun, whether that's through a bit of cloud, which normally is here, getting in the sun in the mornings is like so good for you.
Definitely.
But also what I've learned, what I love about doing a podcast is I learn every single podcast that we have on. But the common theme is that everyone's the same, right? Within reason. Okay. Everyone wants to communicate. Yeah. Everyone wants to. The reason I'm saying this, like you say, people go for a run. They all want to go for a run because they either enjoy running, want to get out. But there's so much shared experience, whether that's mental health, whether that's a passion, whether that's loneliness, whether that's wanting to get fitter. In that space of everyone being similar, everyone having a shared interest, like you said, that's friendships built, relationships are built. And the more I speak to people, the more we live in the same society, in the same country, in the same town. Most people, or 99% of people on this podcast, and everyone's got. People are very similar. I always kind of say this, that everyone's 100% unique, but we're all exactly the same. I'm firmly on that belief.
I think certainly from a lot of people in Bedford, you could definitely argue that and just say we've all kind of grown up in a similar place, similar area. I think everyone experienced struggle, and it just might be the struggle for them, is just slightly different.
Yeah.
And I think people can learn a lot just by just talking and just how you feel.
Just getting out of that. The first point is getting out of the comfort zone of going.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the biggest, like you said, that could be the bigger achievement, better than a personal best of 17 minutes. Yeah. That's the tough part. And people are scared of that. I think when I say people are similar, I also think that for the first time in, I don't know how many thousands of years, we all experience the same thing in lockdown.
Yeah.
We all of a sudden, no other time that I know in history where you all have to just be locked in your house.
Yeah.
And everyone dealt with it. Everyone had, like I say, different struggles. Yeah. Everyone reacted it differently. Some people like relished in that space. Some people really crashed in that space. But we all went through something. We all were going through something that was the same. And out of that, I think a lot of people carry the same emotions of feeling they want to connect, they want to be around people, they want to communicate.
Yeah.
They might feel like some people, the hangover of lockdown is that still being at home, working from home, like I said earlier. So this is my long sort of monologue of saying, just get out of your comfort zone to go and speak to people, be around people. You'll be surprised of how many people feel how you feel, because that's what I've learned. A lot of people feel how I feel about running a business, about being a person, about what Bedford's like at the moment, about my insecurities of overthinking or whatever. A lot of people are just feeling it not exactly the same, but very similar.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's those first few steps of just. I think a lot of people are overthinkers as well, and if people are wanting to step out their comfort zone, I would imagine you're similar to myself, and I might be thinking, okay, well, what happens if it goes wrong? Okay, what are the next 3-4 things that might happen if it goes wrong? And what am I going to do if that then happens? And you're almost like trying to plan infinite number of outcomes for, well, what if it goes wrong? But then what if it goes right? There's
the list of what it goes wrong tends to be a lot longer, and the one you focus on. But when it goes right, when you break that down, who knows what the opportunity is there.
Absolutely.
And for your example, you feel like you've changed your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with the group, I just see all these people that have come down that have formed friendships. That wouldn't have happened if people didn't step out their comfort zone. Started running. That wouldn't have happened if people didn't step out their comfort zone. You know, these are things that would never have happened if people didn't have the courage to just try something new, but also have the courage just to stick to it temporarily.
Yeah.
it's not easy at all. And I think what we just want to try and do is make it as easy as possible for people to feel like they can step out of that comfort zone, do something that doesn't feel normal at that point, and give them the freedom without judgment to transform it into something that does feel comfortable so that they can commit to it, they can keep coming back. And that doesn't even have to be with us, for the record, because it's not about people staying with us, I'd add. It's if we can facilitate you taking those first few steps to come and run with us or just move and be outside, if that means that you end up finding another group of people and being outside, but we've helped you start it, that's what it's all about.
Or you've started the journey of running, but you want to do it on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got people in the group, some really, really young lads that came along with us, and I always think, I wish I started running when I was your age. I was like turning 27. I was so late to the party, and I'd say to them, go and check out that run group over there, Bedford County. Like, it is probably, arguably, the best place in Bedford if you want to get fast and better at running. Yeah, go and do it. I'm not precious about you have to stay here with us. It's
don't reach what your sort of potential.
Absolutely. They've stepped out of their comfort zone. They've started running with us. They've actually got quite good at it just by consistently turning up every single week. Go and do that again. Go step out your comfort zone a second time and see where you can go take yourself. And they've absolutely flourished and gone from strength to strength, and they do things like cross country. They represent the group at different races across the country. That's amazing.
Yeah,
and that wouldn't necessarily happen if they didn't have the confidence to come to us, and having been consistent, then saying, look, go and give it another go. See if you can be, uncomfortable enough to try something else.
What's the age demographic?
So I'd probably say the youngest, and this would be Harrison, is actually the guy that I'm speaking about, young guy, Harrison. I might get his age wrong. I think he's about 16.
Right.
Then we've got a handful of people maybe in their early 20s. I think we've got a good chunk that are, I'd say, late 20s to 40s. And then we've got, a good handful of people that are like 60, 70. It is a widespread, and we just want to, ultimately, the more that we can grow and build out the group, the more people will have, how do I explain it? Like you have,
in your little group and ability level.
Yeah, people with like similar backgrounds, similar interests. There's people that have kids, there's people that don't. People come down with their dogs. It's the more that we can reach out and the more people we have run with us, you're going to bump into people that have very similar interests, and that's ultimately what we want to try and do. But as young as, say, 16, and as old as, like I say, Charlie's grandparents, they're going to be in their 80s, I'm sure. And then we've got people that come down with their kids, so you could argue, I've taken my son down, he's one, so he's not quite at 5k yet, but he's but like I say, it is really just everyone and anyone. We literally don't care. If it's a new face, we'll go out of our way to introduce ourselves. Just like, how did you hear about us? Do you know anyone that's here? Just try and make people feel welcome and part of something, because it can, like, let's not be wrong. We said about it being uncomfortable. Sometimes it can be daunting doing something new.
For sure. 100%.
And we want to try and make people
especially when you go into a big group.
Absolutely.
Last thing you want to do is go to a big group and feel like you've just entered a big group of people that everyone knows each other.
It is. That's the thing that I think we find the hardest, is that we just always trying to make it so that whether you've been there from the start or whether it's day one for you, everyone is treated the same, feels welcome, and feels like they're part of something. And that's something that we just really want to just try and hone in on and keep doing week after week, because without our people, we wouldn't be anything. Yeah. If 30 people didn't turn up on our first run, this wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't even be speaking. So it's about treating everyone the same, whether you've been there from day one or whether you're new.
What? How many of you run it?
So there's 5 of us that run it.
Right.
So
what's the process look like?
So to be fair, we all kind of muck in and help each other, because we said before, life is carnage. It's just chaos. So I think we all help each other out. So there's myself, Chaz, Charlie, his partner Phoebe. We've got Alex and also Jake. And what is nice is that we are all like completely different. Everyone is completely different. And I think that's also another thing that makes it so good, because I think if we're all the same, potentially the type of people that would be reaching out to would be all the same. And like, there would be nothing worse than just loads of people that are like Fabio at a run club. It'd just be terrible. So we've got all different people from different backgrounds. Chaz and Phoebe, I'm sure they don't mind me saying, but they actually met through the run club.
Right, okay.
Another perfect example of it's more than just running, and they're absolutely fantastic together. They would never have met unless we did what we did. So I think another thing as well, Alex is a multiple Guinness World Record holder with all these, I think he's got, I could be wrong, 14 or 15 different world records in plyometric movements. So like press-ups, push-ups, went out to Milan, was on a TV show called, it's a Guinness World Record thing. I actually went out there with him and watched him in his element, and it's amazing.
What did he do?
He did, so there was two that he did. One of them was like, it's absolutely mental. It's like, he had to do these push-ups where it was like through the middle, and then there's like two platforms either side, and it's almost like you push up and then you try and grab yourself and you go up. But then it went up like 10 metres. There's like different levels to it. So basically it was how quickly you can get to the top. And then the year that I went with him was with this. He partnered up with this guy called Jimmy Choi, who's a remarkable bloke. Yeah, I definitely recommend looking into him. He got diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's. And if you just look at how he's dealt with that, it's amazing. Besides the point, they did this challenge where it was clap push-ups. So they'd be like opposite each other, and they'd push up and then clap, and how many they could do.
To each other?
Yeah.
Like
so push
high
up.
five, 10 type
Exactly.
thing. Jesus Christ.
And the record was, I think they had to do a certain number in a minute, and they ended up doing it. But, with all these records and everything like that, the one thing that Alex lives and breathes, and I said this earlier about he would definitely be the go-to person, is he champions mental health and the art of movement to manage, improve, look after mental health generally. So that's someone else in the group that, again, it's more than just running. He absolutely lives and breathes it. So having him there as part of the team that look after it is fantastic. And Jake, I know that he won't mind me talking about this, but I spoke about the likes of addiction before in the past, and it's something which Jake had previously had to tackle and battle with. Again, something like what we do, running aside, the running is just the action, but the group itself gives people like a sense of purpose. And it's not just for our runners, but also for the people that look after it.
Yeah.
So we've got people that look after the group that actually realise firsthand how important it is to have that responsibility, structure. And I think that's why it's so fantastic, because we've got two people in the group that found each other from it. We've got a guy that absolutely champions mental health, and we've got someone that on the other end of the spectrum has benefited from the group by giving them that structure and that sense of responsibility. I'm still figuring out what I bring to the table, but
you just turn up.
But again, and even though I speak about Phoebe and Charlie as finding each other through the group, Phoebe has a fantastic presence on social media, in particular in, say, like the fitness or exercise industry. So she's quite influential in that space, and that's also fantastic, because she's not just looking after the run group just because it's a cool thing to do. It's what she does.
Yeah.
It's what she lives and breathes. And someone like Charlie, he, funnily enough, me, him, and Alex, we did a 100k ultra trail over in the South Downs earlier this year. So Charlie goes under the radar a little bit, but he's an absolute animal when it comes to things like exercise. Done high rocks, marathons, done this 100k ultra with us. So another person that
sounds horrible,
loves
by the way.
It was just I'm not trying to play it down, but it's just so boring.
Yeah.
It was like,
what's that in I'm really bad at kilometers. What's that in miles? That's like
61, 62 miles, I think it was.
How long does that take?
So 3 of us did it in about 14 and a half hours.
Non-stop?
Non-stop, yeah. I mean, there's like aid stations where you stop for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but
where
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, even then, like, you don't want to stop for too long because all of a sudden...
You want to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. A few of us did it in 14 and a half hours, and a few other lads did it in 18 and a half hours. But we stayed at the end and waited for them to come through. That was such a nice feeling. You could just sit, because it was pitch black at this point. We started at like 7 in the morning. We finished at 10.
Oh my God.
Finished at like 10:30, and it was like midsummer. So this was like just turning dark for us. We stayed, and it would have been, Christ, it had been like 2, 3 in the morning. You just see like a couple of head torches.
I would have been asleep.
But honestly, I think, that in itself was a massive achievement for everyone. But going back to the individuals that look after the group, everyone is completely different, but everyone has something that resonates with the purpose of.
Yeah, it's all a passion project, isn't it? You're
Absolutely.
there because you absolutely want to be there. Like you say, no one's getting paid. No. And also, you can see it on your Instagram, and it's very clear from how you're talking about it now. There's no egos involved.
No,
it's not about anyone individually. It's about the purpose that you stand by, what you're trying to achieve, and why you're trying to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've kept yourself, even the things that you've achieved, it's straight back to the project again. So it's very clear there's no egos. It's not about you guys.
I think it's because regardless of all the individual accolades that people do or don't have, I think that the run group is something completely separate to that. It's not like a medal or a time or something that you can kind of hang up on a wall. The group in itself is something that is so much more special because it's about people of all different walks of life coming together. And that in itself is a massive achievement. That's a collective achievement. So all those things that people have or haven't done, whilst it's great, this group that we've created is so much better than that, and something that will hopefully last well after our time and can just continue and help serve people in the future. So I think that's why we always come back to it, because it's just more than us.
Yeah.
And it's all about the people that come along and what we do for them. And, we've seen people in the group that have gone from strength to strength just because we've given them that space to do so. And that's so much more rewarding than, you've gone and got another, I don't know, PB or...
Yeah. It seems like it's in a weird way, kind of like a baby, like a child that you've kind of created.
Yeah.
That it's separate to everything that you're doing, but it's the proud that, like, when people talk about like Olympians or whatever, they're like, I don't know these gold medals, but the biggest achievements I had is my child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got all these accolades, but this thing that you've all kind of, like, I don't know, 5 of you have concocted this child that is going to grow and develop and bring a lot of positive to a lot of people.
I think it's because...
Weird analogy, I know.
Well, I think as well, like, without trying to get too deep on it, I don't really think that... So I've got a bit of a blocked nose. I don't really think that in my life I've achieved much, and I'm not making this about me. I'm just trying to explain why I think it means so much. So I don't think I've necessarily achieved much. I'm absolutely blessed, I would add, to have a loving wife and a family and a house of our own. I think those things, maybe I'm undervaluing that. Me individually and what I've achieved, I don't think I've done much per se. Right. This feels like potentially one of the first things that we've actually created from nothing that could be something.
Yeah.
I haven't had that sense or feeling before.
Right.
I've never created anything before in the past. I've never been part of that process before. I've always just been someone that's kind of just like had an office job and played a bit of football like everyone else does, and then just got into running, which was way too late anyway. This feels like something to really be proud of, and I think that's why you make the reference about it's almost like having a baby type thing. Well, yeah, because it's it's almost like the first thing outside of family that I'd created and been a part of that process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a cheesy saying, but it's something bigger than yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something that's... Do you ever sort of sit back and reflect on the pride and be proud of what... I know you've sort of said people have met and, You've brought people well out of their comfort zone. You must take some pride in that.
Yeah, there's definitely been weeks where I remember it quite clearly, where going back to the start when we used to do outside bridges, and we're still there outside Chibo's in the same space, again, to give people that consistency. But back in the day when we were doing outside bridges, we...
Just on a side, I remember watching you warm up once and I was like, Sunday morning, I'm having a fry up and a coffee.
That's the thing though, is like you turn up once and it's almost like all of a sudden everyone else is kind of keeping each other accountable.
Yeah.
Because if you're not there, because you form friendships, you might have someone say, oh, you know, like, where were you?
Yeah.
It might then prompt you to come back. So...
Sorry, I interrupted your point.
No. So there was definitely a couple of weeks where there's two occasions that really stand out to me. There was one where it was Mothering Sunday, and we always knew that attendance was going to be a bit hit and miss because, you know, family first, right? You know, you're going to be celebrating probably the most important person in your life at that point, you know. So, cool. You know, we didn't expect much. The weather was terrible. We actually met outside Longhome Cafe, which was a slightly different starting point. I can't remember why we started there, but it was absolutely chucking it down. It was grey. We didn't think people were turning up, and it got to like 20 to 10, bearing in mind that we actually started 2:45, and there was literally like 5 of us. And I remember feeling so disheartened. I was like, that's it, like that's us, we're done.
Yeah.
Like no one's coming back. And then literally within the space of about 5 minutes, we had like maybe 20 people turn up. So we had a good, like, it wasn't the most that we had, but we had like a good 20 odd people. And that feeling of relief, I think, reaffirmed that this actually means so much to us as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because of the element of disappointment where you think, no one's turning up.
Yeah.
Made you feel like quite sad. You're like, why? Like, why is no one here? With that, I think I have to also appreciate and realise that not everybody likes running as much as I do. So if it's raining and I want to get out and go for a run, doesn't mean that everyone wants to do that. So that was also a lesson in that sense too.
Yeah, sure.
But it highlighted that this is something that means a lot to us. And the second occasion was one of the occasions outside Bridges. It was unbelievable weather. Unbelievable. And we had one of our best turns out. We'd only been doing this for a few months. We had like 70 people turn up. And we were like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And I remember just giving Charlie just a quick hug and be like, this is unreal. Like almost saying like we've done it.
Yeah.
Like we've now created something that's now going to become a thing. And again, it's the sense of pride, being proud of it. They're two standout occasions for us because it was the disappointment which highlights how much it means. But then again, how proud you are that you see all these new faces. You think, look, all these people.
Yeah. 70 people have got out of bed on a Sunday morning to come and run around.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sunday morning where you might be having your breakfast or a fry-up or something. So
making me feel bad because you're all stretching and I'm just stuffing my face with sausages.
I think it means a lot to us. It takes a lot of time for something that we don't really get much back for. So seeing that was big.
You get those moments back, don't you? That's kind of, I can imagine that's what you do it for. That's what you get back. You know, there's no...
Absolutely. And also we made friends. Like there's people, I was in London weekend, literally just a couple of days ago. I ran a marathon on Saturday in London, and 2 people that I went down with, I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for the group.
Most casual thing to say. I've run a marathon on Saturday.
We can edit and we could say I did a race in London. I did a race in London on Saturday.
If it was me, I'd be telling everybody that I saw that I ran a marathon on Saturday. How many have you done?
Officially, like official races, like chipped ones, I think 7.
Bloody hell.
About 7. And then I've done marathon distance or more, probably about another 10, 12 times on top of that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But a lot of it's just like, I sound weird. I've got like a weird group of friends, but they'd be like, does anyone fancy like going for running a marathon or something?
What, just a random weekend?
Yeah, sometimes.
Are you always at marathon fitness?
No,
Yes.
no. So I think I'm at a place where I think I'm constantly capable of running the distance, and I'll also add to that. I think a lot of people are capable of doing that. I'd add, and I think it's people don't necessarily, going back to the comfort thing. I don't think people necessarily want to step out the comfort zone to attempt that. I'm always at a position where I can run one, but like fitness wise, if I want to race one, I'm not always at that sort of level. And to be fair, I wasn't necessarily in the best shape the weekend just gone. Again, as I'm sure you'll know, having a young child that goes nursery, you're ill every 2-3 weeks without fail, and it's absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But I think at any point I could run one, but
Racing one is different.
Yeah, exactly, because you'll build up to it, and then you'd execute the race.
What's your fastest marathon pace time?
2:53.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and I did. Do you know what? I was really, whilst that was my best time, I actually think the one that I've just done was my proudest one. I did 2:56, but like I say, this last 6 months has been horrendous. Where I'd have like 2 good weeks of training, and then I'd be out for a week. So
Jesus,
still doing that.
That's nuts though.
Yeah, I think like it's good. I'll accept that, but again, it's all relative, right? Because you know, I've been doing it for the last 3 years. I think just doing one and completing one is such a good achievement, and I hate how people normalise running a marathon. And I appreciate, perhaps I just said a second ago that my friends, but I do it in my head thinking like, that is so difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't think it, like, for the record.
But like you even said that it's your personality, right? So you're not like underplaying it by saying that's what you do. That's your passion. That's what you probably run multiple times a week.
Yeah.
That's just what your outlet is, what your passion is.
Yeah.
Like some people's it could be movies or whatever. Like,
absolutely.
Everyone's got their thing, right?
Exactly.
So I don't think you're underplaying how difficult it is. But yeah, just I just did marathon on Saturday.
I just don't like how people normalise it, because I would bet if you went back 10, 15 years ago and you said to someone, I'm running a marathon, everyone would be like, oh my God, what are you thinking? Whereas now it's almost like the first question is, oh, what time are you going for? Or like, how long have you been training for it? It's almost like...
Yeah, and what? Yeah.
Yeah, why? I just think that's, you know, time aside, just doing it. Because the other thing that people underappreciate is the race isn't the hard bit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's the 16 weeks, 20 weeks, however long it is leading up to it. Yeah. That's the bit that's difficult.
Yeah.
And
I watched my mum and stepdad did it, and they were saying the race was adrenaline and the buzz of it all. They did the London Marathon, where it's probably
so good.
Yeah, the biggest in the UK, right?
Yeah.
We were there shouting, and the adrenaline kind of carries you for a chunk of it, but it's the dark nights, dark mornings, the winter, basically. Like I've always said, I'd love to do the London Marathon if they did it at the back end. If I could train in the summer.
I had the October one. So the first one that I did, I actually had a winter marathon, and it was amazing. Like summer, you train all summer, and then like come race day, it's like, oh, this weather's quite nice and it's quite cool. It's like perfect. But like going back to your point though, absolutely, it's the late nights, the early mornings, the cold that you have to tackle, the weather itself. That's not easy. And that's why I think I just really don't like it when people normalise doing it. And I think that also is one of the reasons that puts people off running.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to normalise a marathon, well, what the hell is a 5K by comparison then?
Yeah, for sure.
No. Marathons are difficult. They're grueling. They're horrible. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but I think it just needs a bit more respect. Yeah. And the people that do it, I think, need a bit more respect as well, rather than just playing it down. And I think just going back to the point as well, just taking it back, just start.
5K is a very good place to start, isn't it? Even if you're walking a 5K, it's a good place to start.
It's time on your feet.
Yeah.
5K is 5K, whether you walk it, run it, whatever. You still have to go the distance, right? And I can guarantee you, again, if you decide to go over a marathon distance, I walk patches of it. People like, you got to do the distance, right? So,
and that's the thing, whether you walk a marathon or run a marathon, you've done a marathon.
yeah. At the end of the day, you get your medal. It doesn't say anything about the time that you got. Yeah. You got your medal to
where
say,
you
well
finished
done,
or anything.
You've earned this. And it doesn't make any reference to how you did it. It's you've done it, period. And you've got people that would run for 2 hours, world record, or people that might do it for 7 hours. They get the same thing at the end of the day, right?
There's also people that do it for 5 or 6 hours with a fridge on their back or something nuts.
Silly. People dressed up as rhinos or like Big
all
Ben or
sorts
something
of crazy
like that.
stuff, yeah. Circling back to Plod Squad, you guys, how does it work in terms of, do you sort of partner up with businesses and cafes and stuff where you start and finish?
Yes and no. So you could argue that we partner with Chibo. Those guys are fantastic. Like, it's the perfect start and finish for us. Originally, it stemmed from when we used to start at Bridges. And the reason we used to do it there is because it was central, really good place to start. We've always tried to link up with somewhere because I think familiarity. That's the word. That's the one. Having a place that's familiar, I think also makes it a bit more welcoming, right?
Yeah.
So rather than just meeting at, say, out in a park, starting at a cafe, I think is a bit more welcoming. But going further than that, it feels nice to support local.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know the details of what happened with Bridges. It's not my place to talk about that, but we saw what happened over there, and unfortunately those guys no longer exist. I think it just puts a spotlight on supporting local, and we are able to provide people from the town to go there. It's also a nice way of like giving something back to these businesses. And I know that you've had Lele on here before.
Yeah.
And he's so supportive of what we do to the point where they're not usually open on Wednesdays, but they decided that they'll open for Wednesdays for us and the people that come and run. And that's the beauty of partnering with local family-run business as well. There's so much more flexibility with it. And I think they feel and understand what we do so much more than just say, if you went to Starbucks or wherever it might be. And then one of the things that we always try to do is the art of running can be quite monotonous. It's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And we really want to keep trying to make the group as fun and as engaging as possible. So we're always trying to think of ideas of how can we switch it up. So number 7, coffee. You had them on here the other day, didn't you?
I think it's going to go live tomorrow.
Yeah, so we've partnered with them several times, which has been like absolutely amazing. And one of the sessions that we did, one of our runners, Sophia, does Pilates. That's what she coaches, or is that the right word?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
Well, she
does it anyway.
She's really good at Pilates, basically. And she does a lot of classes. And they allowed us to do like a little post-run session in there. And again, it's just something different for people to enjoy, asides the running, whilst also supporting local as well. And we always try to go out of our way to do things across Bedford. Some places are a bit more receptive than others, and I get that. We don't necessarily look for anything in return. We just say, look, can we just turn up at your place, and we've got like 40, 50 people that will come along, and they might grab a little something from you guys, I don't know. Just keeps it fun. And we do summer socials, winter socials. We're potentially sorting out a little Christmas party. I think we might be doing it at the Herd. Again, local. So we're always on the lookout for, are there people local nearby that we can help support? Because they'll have a presence in Bedford, which means that they'll have people that don't know about us that will see us. And equally, we've got people that might not know about them that will now be aware of them. So there's a good like trade-off, and it works really well. It keeps it exciting, keeps it different. So if you've got any suggestions or people that...
No, I mean, I think it's I really like it's a very local based thing. It's just good to see you. I've seen you on Instagram just stopping off different places, and it just shows that real drive for local. Like you said, you can always chase the London thing where it feels like, it's high numbers and stuff. But doing things right, doing things naturally, organically, and supporting things in the right way. Like you say, if you can bring 50 people to a small independent coffee or sub place or whatever, that's 50 people they wouldn't have had that day. The effect that can bring to someone else is huge.
Yeah.
And if you can do that to the odd business every now and again, that probably makes their month look pretty different.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that people appreciate, like, we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And I think people do appreciate, like, thank you for coming and spending the morning here with us, just because it's custom maybe that they might not have
100%. And
might not have had.
Me being a small business, I know that, I think that being a business owner or having a business, people just think that you've always got money and you're always it's always good, right? But I can tell you firsthand that a little bit of something from somewhere else makes a huge difference to your business. So, like you say, if you're bringing somebody else in for custom for that, even at one day they wouldn't have had, that makes a big impact on their bottom line of what they're going to turn, what it looks like for that week or that month. So, I bet for them that's a great thing for you guys to do, and a great thing for them, and it's just spreading the love, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because we're in a town, not a city, I think that everybody is more integral to one another's lives. You know, if you're in a city, there's so many people, whereas I think Bedford, more often than not, you're always going to come across someone that you know, or you're always bumping into people. So it just feels nice, kind of like connecting people.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way of connecting one person to one particular place, and we love it.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to find things to do, even to the point where a good example is there's another run club out in Rushden.
Yeah.
And a couple of people I know that set it up and run it over there. We've even had them come to us and we've gone to them.
I think I know, what's that one called?
Broken Society.
Yeah, I've looked at that one as well, yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
They start around Higham area, don't they?
That's it, exactly that. So Matt and his brother, they look after it, and, you know, in a similar fashion, they're doing something quite similar, and it's so good, because when we've gone over there, again, a whole load of new faces that are now aware of us. When they come here, there's a whole load of faces that are now aware of them, and it's just about building that awareness that there are these places out there that you can go.
And it's not competitive, is it? It's about people starting, and there might be a situation where they've got a family in Bedford and they're over on a Saturday night, stayed over, and they might come and run with you guys on Sunday morning, and vice versa. So, if you're doing things for the right reasons, which you clearly are, in terms of just getting more people running, it's not competitive. It's not they're copying what we're doing, we don't like it. It's get as many people involved as possible.
And also, I'm a firm believer of, even if there are other run clubs, if we do what we do, if we do what we're trying to do properly, I don't think we'll ever lose the core value of what we want. We may lose people, as is their freedom to do so, but at the same time, we might get people that come back. And if we can just have a bigger audience of people running, if we had 10 different groups that were set up and we had 10 times the number of people that were running, that's better. It's better for everyone. And it's just about getting people outside, moving, taking those first few steps to engage in running, walking, or just general exercise. So there's no competition at all, because everyone ultimately is trying to do it for the right reasons. So if there are other run clubs that are going to set up, I don't know whether everyone agrees with me or not, but I'm all for it. Yeah. Because there's going to be people that from our group might need to take that next step and try something a little bit different. And there'll be people that go there that it might not be for them, and, you know, fall in love with what we do. Yeah.
There's enough people, there's enough space. I think that collaboration.
Not outside Chibos though. You're not allowed to start outside Chibos. There's
enough people for everyone to do their thing, because everyone does it differently. Obviously, you don't want someone to do exactly the same thing the day before or day after yours. Yeah. But as long as you can get more people into running and moving and their mental health and that sort of stuff, then it's got to be a positive, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And I said this at the start. I think that Plod Squad is up there with one of the most positive movements in Bedford at the moment. It doesn't cost people anything. All it's going to cost you is your time. And that is just gives people something to look forward to.
It costs you your time, but the trade-off is your health as well.
Yeah. Well, you're going to use that time one way or another.
Yeah.
So
you could do it on a Sunday, like I did, having a fry up and a coffee, or you can move your body and probably feel better for it afterwards. And then you can have a fry up.
That's what I was just about to say, that you could go for the run, and you know how people say like, oh, I've earned it. So you can go for your run and then go get your fry up, and then you've had a very fulfilled
Happy days,
morning.
win-win.
Yeah, exactly. But I think supporting local on that particular point, I just think it's so important, and we want to do as much of it as we can without necessarily disrupting the routine too much, because that, I won't try and say the word again, that being familiar, that's so important for people from a mental perspective, is they know where to be. It's that routine. It's
also little things that you know where you're parking, you know what time you're going to leave, you know what time you're going to get there. As soon as that gets thrown off a little bit, or where am I going to park, how am I going to get there, this, that. It sounds so small, but it's little things for me that I would be like, okay, so now I've got to rework that. If you want to get up every Sunday morning, you know what time you've got to leave, you know what time you're going to get there. So I completely appreciate why it's important to be as close to that routine as possible.
Yeah, and also you want to take away as many obstacles as possible away from people, so that it's as easy as possible for them to turn up. Yeah. Because it's so easy that if you wake up in the morning and you look outside and you think, oh, it's a bit cold, it's a bit wet, I'm not
going to bother, especially because I've got to go somewhere else. There's also a part of it where you could have had somebody that's going to look to your socials 2 weeks ago and thought, I'm on holiday for 2 weeks, I'm back on Sunday, I'm going to go. And that's the Sunday you're at X place. You don't want to rock up at the place you always are and you're not there. But then again, it's finding that balance. You want to work with other people and collaborate with other people, but you also want the consistency. So we're working. I'll leave it for you to work that one out.
We're working on it. We're trying to, like I say, we're trying to keep it fun, because we know that if we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, whilst the consistency is really important, we don't want it to die out, because it's so important for people. So we need to just try and keep thinking of ideas just to keep it fun, engaging, just so that it continues and there is that place for people to keep coming back to.
Yeah. Is there any sort of big plans for the future, or are you kind of taking it one week at a time?
Are there big plans for the future? I know that Charlie's been working closely with a couple of people about trying to do some merch, which is really good. I mean, we do it at the moment, and we actually don't try and make any money off of it. So any money that we do make, we actually put back into the group, and it might be things like getting a few drinks at Christmas or something. So we never make any money from it. But Charlie's been spending a lot of time trying to get a whole range of merch for our runners, because previously, again, because we don't really know what we're doing, we've gone, this is the top that we're making, who wants one? People have then paid us, then we've ordered and then we're having to hand deliver it. So I think in the pipeline is we've got a whole range of stuff that's going to be set up on a website that people can just go on and order as and when, which is pretty cool. And any money that's made from it, we essentially pile it up, and then we use it, whether that's giving people access to, say, the track, for maybe like a one-off track session maybe, or something else. We spend it back on the guys. We don't make any money. There's someone, I don't know if it's going to happen yet, so I won't necessarily say, because I don't want to embarrass myself, but there was conversation that was had where potentially once a month we would team up with someone local to Bedford to do our Wednesday night run, and they were going to do like discounted food, drinks and stuff like that. Again, just something to look forward to. I'm yet to hear back on that, but the initial conversation was really exciting, and they were quite on board with it, where like we were even looking at certain dates for the next 6 months. But that TBC. That's to be confirmed, just because things change all the time, right? And,
sure. It feels like a win-win though. They're going to get X amount of people every Wednesday, which is probably not the busiest night of their week.
Possibly. That's the nice thing, is that we haven't approached and said we want anything like amazing from you guys. We just think this is a really good place for us to come and do something a bit different. It's still local. It just switches it up once a month just to give something exciting to the guys. We're not really asking for anything back. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that can work. Joe, I don't care. It's Brew Point. It's not even. I don't even know why I'm like so like. No, it's just we had a really good conversation with them, and we just said once a month, how good would it be if we had all of our runners come here? And they said about potentially people that come with you they do like a 2-for-1 pizza thing.
Right.
So we'll actually do that on a Wednesday for runners, and we'll do a slight discount on pints. And we thought, well, like, how good is that? Like, once a month.
Result. Yeah. And now they can't do it now because we're going to tag them.
Crap. No, maybe if we tag them, maybe they have to do it.
That's
now,
what I'm saying. Yeah, they've got no choice.
Yeah,
Otherwise, everyone's going to see it and it's going to look bad.
But it's just stuff like that. It's just trying to think outside the box where it's not difficult for our guys to do. It's still local, something to look forward to. 2 for 1 pizzas, bring a friend down. That sort of thing where we've got an opportunity to grow our audience. So, fingers crossed, hopefully before the end of the year I can, sort that out.
Yeah, well, we'll help you with that one.
Yeah, please guys, come
on. So let's just refresh on the days that you do it, the times that you do it, so that we can make it very clear and no one can miss out.
Sure. So we do Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday morning, we arrive at 9:30 and we start at 9:45. So it gives people a chance to.
And that's at the square bit, right?
Correct. Outside Chibo's in town. Trying to think what that place is called. Riverside.
Yeah, it's something. The square's called something, but I don't know what that is.
If you search Chibo's, you'll be able to find where we start.
Can we search that quickly, please? What's that the square's called?
I think it's called Riverside something.
Is it Riverside Square? This is a really cool marketing tool that we're using. And the Wednesday?
Same place.
Okay.
So what we do
What time's Wednesday?
So Wednesday is 6:30 meet.
Riverside Square. There we go. We got it. You said Riverside
Square.
and I said Square.
There you go. Perfect. So Riverside Square on a Sunday. 9:30 a.m. meet. 9:45 we start, and it is just a 5K, but there's no obligation to do that. It's just come and do the distance that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
When you arrive, everyone will be kind of hanging around outside, chatting, some people having a coffee. We'll go through the route, so when people are running, they'll have an idea of where they actually need to run as well. We don't just say, off you go, and you're aimlessly going around the streets. So we walk you through what the route is going to be. And also, because it's a couple of laps of the embankment, you can actually see most people where they are anyway. So you're never going to be, like, left alone. You're never going to be on your own in that sense, sorry.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, it's the same thing. We used to do 10K as well, but with the winter months and when it's colder, as it's darker, we really didn't like the idea of people potentially running on their own, especially if it's a 10K and it takes longer.
Yeah.
So just for the winter months at the moment, we're just doing 5K. Wednesday, same meeting point, Riverside Square, outside Chibo's, 6:30, start at 6:45. And again, it's just 5K, same route.
Cool.
And then as the summer months come back in to the frame, we then open it up to people. If they want to do something a bit longer than a 10K, they have the route and the option to do that as well.
Summer months seem a long time away.
No, I don't. Yeah, it feels like they've only just gone, but then also as well, they're just like they're not going to be coming back anytime soon. No. So strap in for the cold runs.
Yeah, the clocks are changing soon.
Yeah, which is going to make it even darker. But yeah, that's where we run. It's every single week without fail.
Do you do head torches and stuff when it gets dark?
We've started doing that recently. So we've been asking people to turn up with high-vis, reflective items, and also torches if they can. And we've also sourced some as well. So we can try and get people some if they struggle to do so.
Cool.
You don't necessarily have to wear a head torch, but we would encourage people to wear reflective stuff because at the end of the day, it's just a bit of fun. We don't want to see anybody getting hurt. So, everyone's welcome, all abilities. We really don't care what you can or can't do. It's just come along.
Have some fun, get moving.
Exactly.
Cool. I feel like I should go now. I need to. I enjoy running. Once I get out of running, it's hard to get back into it. But I tend to enjoy it more in the darker winter months. I don't know why. It tends to be around the time I start running again. So.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure why. It's always been around November, December, January, I start running again.
It's usually the other way around. People are often like fair weather runners where they're like all through summer. You've obviously got later days, earlier mornings where it's sun, like people are out.
I'm sure there's some weird logic to why I do that. I don't know what it is, but I just like running when it's dark and wet.
Well, you know where we are?
Yeah.
Sundays.
I've got to now, haven't I?
You're just going to have to postpone your fry up for 45 minutes.
As long as I get a fry up, I'll be fine. Right, well, thank you very much for coming in.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I need to get my body moving again because I'm just being lazy. So maybe I'll see you on Sunday. But yeah, thank you very much for coming in. Really good to understand how and why. And like I said, there's no egos involved with it, which I think is really good way for you guys to do it. It's not about you; it's about what the project is, what you're trying to achieve, and doing it locally as well is brilliant. So I think you guys can be very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's obviously building a community, and hopefully it can grow and carry on going in future.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And I'd just say the final thing is just give us a try.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not for you, which would be really sad if that was the case, I would just be pleased that people tried it because you never know. Just try and be not comfortable. Just try and have the confidence just to step outside your comfort zone. Just give us a try and you might be pleasantly surprised by what you stumble across. And you might make some friends along the way.
Go and do it.
Exactly.
Cool. Thank you very much. Hopefully, it grows and carries on, and I'm sure we'll get a few members of the Plod Squad team in at some point as well.
Absolutely. The guys that help run it, they're people that have all their own stories. They're all fascinating people and definitely people worth talking to. And there's even some people that come down to the club themselves.
Yeah.
The group there. Yeah, there's definitely a few characters in there that you could get through.
For sure. Definitely. Thank you very much. We'll wrap it up there.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Thank you.